So something that might be a little bit controversial, but I actually think that we should start buying European. I'm really, really sick of China and the United States pushing Europeans around, constantly talking down to us, constantly telling us how behind we are, that we are just an open air museum, and that they're so great, and China lives in 2050, and the United States is so great. Honestly, no. I love both countries. I've spent a lot of time in both of them. I speak the language. With Chinese, not so well, as you can maybe see from some of the other videos, but I have nothing against them. But if we are fair in our assessment, then if we look at the United States, we can see that there's so much stuff that's not working at all. In some respects, they live in the future, but in most respects, they actually live in the last century. And don't mean 1999, I mean something like way before. And similar to China, they have done great things in developing themselves, but they're not living in the future. They have so many problems that don't get shown here in the media, and especially the social media, that partially belongs to China, right? And that's just full of propaganda and bots and everything. And honestly, I'm really sick of these two countries trying to bully Europe all the time. And so I think we should try to buy European as much as we can. I've actually started to doing this privately, but also in my business, because I don't think we are actually going to develop anywhere if we keep buying American tech products, for example. So if you're using ChatGPT, for example, why don't you try Mistral, the French competitor? Yes, it's not quite as good, that's totally true, but it's pretty close, and for most use cases you can actually use it, but they will never develop if nobody in Europe uses the product, right? And think about the cloud, right? AWS, the Eastern region went down, and a lot of things in Europe were suddenly taken down with it. Why are we even on an American cloud anymore? We already know that their services, their intelligence services, have access to the clouds, to all the data. We keep playing these games about privacy protection. Everybody is being tortured in their everyday life with privacy protections, but then we wholesale send all our data to the United States, to AWS, to the CIA, to the NSA, and so on. And so I think that while we cannot totally forgo American and Chinese products, right? We're too integrated for that. Where we can find a solution, where we can get something very close, I think we should start doing that. And even if that means that the product is a little bit more expensive, or that the quality, the speed, whatever it may be, is not quite there, I think we still need to start buying European, because sending our money to make them stronger every day so that they can bully us more while we are growing weaker is really not an option. We have one big strength in Europe. Actually, I think we have a couple of them, but one big one is that we have a lot of rich consumers, so they actually have to sell to us to be successful and to be competitive. And if we stop wasting our money on Chinese products, on American products, and instead buy European, I think we can strengthen ourselves, emancipate ourselves from them, and become more independent over time, because the last years have made clear that they don't actually play fair. They don't actually want to have a cooperative relationship with them. And so if they want the divorce, if they don't want to work closely with us together, then we cannot force them. We don't want to force them, but that also means we have to invest into our own strength.